far as the Jawans are concerned, so this is exactly what the issue is. It has always been asked. Lieutenant Colonel Anil Dhuan, let me bring you in as well. I know a lot of armed forces personnel, I've spoken to a lot of them, feel very unfortunate today and they do not really want to get into something that's become extremely political. But it's also important to set the record straight, essentially because there is no controversy here. So I just want to understand, as Major General Yashmore was pointing out, that as far as Jawans are concerned, it's always been asked whether caste or religion. Could you talk to us about what is the reason? Why is it important to have that data as far as the armed forces are concerned?
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to interact with you on your platform. Good evening to you and good evening to Jan Morsa and all the panelists. I totally agree with what the General has said. This tradition has been continuing since ages, and it has not undergone a change. Undergone a change, when I say, I do not mean 100% change. Yes, it has undergone a change, but that is, say, just about 5 to 7% to 10%. Like, for example, there are regiments which were absolutely pure battalions and who had a particular community joining them. But as a test case, they were, experimented to have all India, all class basis. And I come from one such regiment. To tell you, I come from Mahar regiment, and my unit has the distinction of having a mandir and a Gurdwara Sahib in my unit. So much so, this Agniveer is concerned. Well, this controversy is, I think, absolutely unfounded. It has got no place, absolutely no place.
Okay.
As the General has mentioned, the caste and religion for the Jawans were asked previously also.
Yeah.
However, for officers, it was never a caste. It was always a religion, and that is primarily for the reason that in case circumstances are such that the last rites are done at in situ, then what should be the last rites be?
What should be the protocol that should be followed as far as the ceremonies are concerned?
That is
correct?
what it was.
Yeah.
And if somebody says that in Agnipath or Agniveer, this has undergone a paradigm shift, no, it has not.
Okay, so that's where the record currently stands, which essentially means that there has been no change. Atishi, let me bring you in then. Then I want to understand, you heard it from veterans as far as the armed forces are concerned. There really is no change. Then why create a controversy, especially for a space that has no space for religion? The armed forces take a lot of pride considering the fact that they put the duty towards the nation first vis-a-vis everything else.
There are two things. First of all, if any factually incorrect statement was made by any member of parliament, be it from Aam Aadmi Party or be it from any other party, then obviously that is not correct. And I believe that all politicians should check their specific facts and figures before making any statements. That is number one. But number two, I think this fact of caste being asked cannot be wished away by saying that this has always been asked. Because now one very important thing has changed. It is no longer a permanent recruitment. It is a recruitment in which 75% of the Jawans who are being recruited are only going to serve for a 4-year period. So at this point of time, asking what caste are you from definitely raises the concern about caste discrimination happening as and when 75% of these recruits do have to be sent back. Yes, religion, I understand that in the line of duty, if anyone loses their life, their last rites need to be performed. For that specific reason, one may need to know. But definitely a question does arise as to why caste needs to be asked now and whether it can be misused.
But Atishi, the fact is that no recruitment is actually happening based on caste or religion. It's been given a spin by the opposition. And I'm going to give you a fair chance to respond to this. But look at what Sanjay Singh essentially was trying to hint. He was saying and asking the Prime Minister that why are all these certificates being asked? Doesn't the Prime Minister consider Dalit, backwards and tribal people capable of joining the army? And this is where the armed forces personnel are taking offense to, that this is not the mandate as far as recruitment is concerned. You have an issue as far as the Agnipath scheme is concerned. You have the platform to discuss that. But to question the fact that recruitment is happening based on caste and religion, that is actually completely deviating from what the point is, and you could actually be
Ridhima.
misleading the youth who would
Ridhima.
want to join the armed forces as well.
Ridhima, we cannot, number one, separate the current recruitment process from the Agnipath scheme, because right now recruitment is happening for the first time under the Agnipath scheme, right? So when the recruitment is happening under a new process only for a 4-year period, after which 75% of the Jawans are going to be let go, the question does arise, really did we need to ask caste in this particular recruitment? If that is not the basis of this recruitment, if that is not the basis on which people are going to be retained, you can justify the fact that you are asking for religion, but what is the justification for asking for the caste of these recruits when one is bringing about a new scheme? This is definitely a question that needs to be asked. Also because there is definitely questions. The Supreme Court in an order has very clearly said that there is no space for reservation within the army for any caste or any group or any community. The Supreme Court is very clear about this. So when we are starting a new scheme, why?
Atishi,
Why
as
did
I
we
said,
need to ask
I would
about
appreciate your
caste,
points
especially-
as far as flaws in the scheme itself is concerned. I would appreciate that discussion. But today, don't you think it's a little irresponsible for elected representatives to be making these comments without doing the basics, which is fact-checking?
That is the first thing that I said. That if any representative from any political party, including mine, has made a statement which is factually incorrect, then we do not stand by it. And I believe that all political representatives need to check all facts before making any statements.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
the
Atishi,
question
let me
of
just give a
asking
fair
for
chance to
caste,
the other representatives
question of
also.
asking
And
for
I'll come
caste
back to you. Atishi,
in a
I'll just come back to
4-year
you.
recruitment
Atishi, give me
is
some time. I'll just
definitely a
come back
loaded
to you.
question.